Hey guys, what's going on? Home from work. Yeah, let's try that again. Home from work today. So I figured I'd do something stream wise. There's been a lot of requests for the Lidar stuff for the YouTube channel. So I'm going to do one today. And what this course is, somebody made the mistake of splining the entire course in OpenStreet. And then they went to use Chad's tool and it failed and they gave up. So it was never published. So, here it is, Arcadia Bluffs. I mean, somebody had requested that I do it, and I looked at it. I'm like, holy shit, somebody actually already splined this thing, right? I mean, they did everything. Well, not everything, but, um, all the way down to the little bunkers and everything else. All right. So I'm like, well, why didn't they publish that? So I looked in the golf club. I did a search for Arcadia Bluff or Arcadia. There was really no courses, especially for Lidar. Um, and I'm like, well, what's up? Well, I found out in a hurry why he gave up. All right. So this is why you never, ever, ever spline an entire course on OpenStreet without making sure that everything is in place prior to you splining anything, right? So this guy spent probably hours splining all this, all these little tiny bunkers, everything, blah, 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 blah. All right. And he couldn't publish it. And here's why. So if you go here, um, and again, I have another tutorial on how to download the LAS files and all that stuff. So please check that video out if you're not familiar with the LAS and Chad's tool and how to use it and downloading the LiDAR data. All right. This one is going to be about this course, somebody doing the work already here, but never could figure out how to get it published. And I'm going to show you how we do that. So with this one, uh, I'm just going to select my course, call it tutorial, select folder. All right, I'm going to import a course, my template course. And again, if you're going, what the hell's a template course? Go check out the other video. It shows all this stuff and how to create it and what it's all about. All right, so this is more of an advanced tutorial. All right, and I felt bad for the guy because he put all this work into it, and I don't know who did it, but we're going to get it published. So, um, in any event, so this is done. Now, watch what happens here. This is what the guy did. So he got all the data here. All right. If you look into my course files, all right, I already downloaded all the stuff we need right here. I did this. All right. And I got all the LAS files, all the XML files for this course area. All right. So it's done. It's ready to go. Right. So all you do in Chad's tool normally, you would go here, select the LiDAR and generate height map. Make sure you're in the same folder. We're good. Select the folder and we run it. And after this, normally you do your thing and it's good. All right. Oh, it failed. Okay. Could not determine LiDAR projection. Please report an issue and send this LiDAR and metadata. Alternatively, look for something called EPSG value, right? So, in a nutshell, um, this XML data here, all right, is it has the data that we need as far as elevation, but without it knowing what projection to use, it says, I give up. I'm not even going to try to figure it out. All right. So, how the hell do you get this right here? Force LiDAR EPSG projection. Where the hell do you get that? Well, I'll show you. So, I use a site that's called Spatial Reference. All right. And spatialreference.org. All right. You just type in the state it comes up with all the EPSGs that are for that state. All right. The problem is there is no quick way of knowing this. All right. So what I did is I looked on um, Google Maps. I think I still have it up here. All right. And as I scroll out, I can see around where it is in Michigan. Here's Michigan. And where is it? Well, it's on the west side, central Michigan, right? It's in the center of Michigan as far as up and down, right? South to north. So that narrows it a little bit. But the problem is you've got all these different codes, all right? And if you choose the wrong ones, and there's really no way of knowing which one it's going to be, all right? But I just happened to go down the list and I'm like, okay, here we go. Here's a central, right? Because it's right in the middle of the state as far as north to south. So let's try that one, right? EPSG 2252. So I went over to our CHAD tool and I put in 2252. Now when I hit the select LiDAR, same thing, choose the same folder. All right. You'll see now unit in use is this. Okay. So that means it's actually processing, and you can see an overwriting projection with EPSG 2252. All right. So we're getting further this time, but that doesn't mean we are out of the woods yet, because you can choose, you can put any EPSG projection number in there. It'll do this, and you'll go, cool, I got it. No, that's not the case. All right. I'm saving some time because if you notice, look at this. Isn't this nice? So it pulled in all our OpenStreet data. Now, if you um, if you think that you're going to put in the how do I explain it? Say you go in here and you choose another one of these. All right. And you started with 2253. All right. What's going to happen is if you don't have the right projection number, that's what this is. All right. It'll go through with Chad's tool and go, yep, we're good. It'll look like it's doing everything, but there's going to be one problem. And the problem is you won't see this. You're not going to see any OpenStreet data. If you don't see this, it's the wrong projection. All right. And you got to continue going down this list of EPSG numbers and just keep trying them. And you're going to have to find the one that finally, hopefully, shows all the OpenStreet. Okay. So I happened to pick that first one from the top and I knew it was central, so I lucked out right away. Okay. So now, again, this is all in the first tutorial, so I'm not really going to go through here. Um, I'm just going to grab that piece. I'm going to accept it. All right, and this takes a little while. So we'll let this thing finish. So again, um, it's really critical. I mean, I feel bad for these guys because they've spent probably hours splining these courses, and I've found many of them out there, well-known courses. Um, Now, granted, a lot of them are not done well. You know, they'll go and spline it, and it looks like crap, and I have to rip it out anyway. All right. If you notice here, you can see the bunker here, and the bunker's really over there, right? And we're on Bing imagery. And again, in the other tutorial, it shows you all about this stuff. All right. But it looks like he used Mapbox satellite, which is, I like it because it's always clearer. The problem is the mapping is older than Bing. All right. But Bing throws it off center. All right. You can see how much it's off. And I'm going to show you how to fix that. All right. So, point being, pick one of these backgrounds that is clear and you can actually see the course. All right. And let's take it from there. Right. So, while this is doing that, we're just waiting for the map file to populate. It's got to go down and find all the trees and the height of them. So normally when I'm looking for courses, I start in a couple places. It's Golf Week's best, you know, top 200 modern courses is what I'm looking at recently. Um, and here they are. And I'll also make sure that they're not already created in the golf club. If I do a search, for example, Brandon Dunes, I know that's already been done. I'm not going to recreate the wheel, right? Friar's Head, I know that's been done. Um, so Sebenek, same thing. I know that's been done. Whistling Straits cannot be done because there's no good LiDAR data. It's a shame. It's not going to be available until 2020. But, you know, that's the thing. You got to make sure that everything is intact before you spline anything. So I'll find a course and go, oh, all right, let's see. Say I wanted to do Whistling Straits. I'd say, oh, cool. All right. I'm going to do Whistling Straits because nobody's done this yet. So if I do that, I can go in here, type in Whistling Straits, and it's going to show me where the course is. All right. And you're like, cool, there it is. And I can change my layering here so I can actually see the course. All right. Clear that point. And there's the course. And you get all excited and you're like, oh, cool. There it is, man. That's the one I'm doing. All right. So then I go, oh, okay. So I'm going to grab this entire course. All right. I'm going to click 3-depth LiDAR IFSAR here. And then I'm going to hit find products. Oh, yeah, there's no LiDAR data. All right. So can you imagine um, doing all that, finding this in OpenStreet? Okay, spline this entire course in OpenStreet, spend days, hours, hundreds of hours, you know, doing this course, splining it all out. You're all excited, and all of a sudden you go to get the LiDAR data, and there isn't any. It would suck, wouldn't it? So you need to do your homework first. You need to find the course that you want to work on from whatever list you want, or it could be a local course, whatever. Um, but you have to make sure, just do a quick search on the course you want to do. I know this one's a fail too. I want to do Kiowa, all right? But the LiDAR data is crap, all right? It's from like 1995, and the course has changed since then. So that's, you know, a lot of these are out. Um, so, all right, this is finally done. So now I can go back in here into my Photoshop and open that file. This mask PNG, here it is. And this is important. This is the water over here. So we're going to leave this side alone because that's the ocean. But we do want to get rid of all these trees because we'll just put those in later. All right. And you'll see and whatever you do not want to go too far in because if you do, it'll cut off the golf course. All right. So I'm just going to leave this here and I'm going to save this. We're done with this now. So now we can go back in here, import terrain, and auto elevation offset I keep. I don't want to auto position anything. Add background and terrain. Nah, we don't need that. This, and this we need. And let's build the course. Again, we're in the tutorial. And hopefully everything will go well. So back to the searching, right? So say you find a course in here and you say, I want to do this. I don't know. Let's just find, I've never tried that. See, this is Arizona, and I don't think there's too much good Lidar for there. So I'm going to go to another one here. Let's look. Oh, let's see. Well, whatever. Let's try Castle Pines. All right. Go over here. Castle Pines. Now, this is already a bad thing because Denver, I don't think, has too much LiDAR data other than in the city itself, right? So we can say find products just to get a general idea. All right, so here's some data, 2013, 6 years old. That's okay, but we don't want that. So we've got to go down further and find the golf course. And you know what? I think I looked at this one before. It's a freaking nightmare because look how it's spread out. It goes from all the way up here, down here, around. I mean, that's huge. So there's more than one course. I don't know the area. So I'm not even going to try to and look at all the neighbors, all the houses that you'd have to put in here. Okay. Forget it. It's not worth it. Um, so let's just look. That's why I love sticking with Pennsylvania where I live. There's so many awesome courses in our state that are top rated. Um, and I know the LiDAR data is pretty decent. Um, let's see. So the PNG. Okay, so the course is done. We're going to look at it. Oh, there it is. So now I'm going to export this as Arcadia Bluffs Golf Club. And the beauty of Chad's tool, you know how the name cuts off? At least on PC it does. I can type a huge, you know, name like that and it'll stay there. So we're going to export the course as is. All right. In here. Oh, that's right. I did get rid of it. All right. Arcadia Bluffs. So I know which course it is. I'm going to save it. Eventually it'll pop back up. There it is. All right. Oops, I missed a spot over there. Okay. Well, again, this is a tutorial. Um, so we cut out everything we wanted to cut out, and we should have it saved. Now we can go into the golf club. Do I have it open? We'll find out. No. Designer, unpublished, and hopefully it shows up. Oh, that's interesting. Did I hit the wrong one? Designer, unpublished. Should be more than that. There we go. All right, so, and these, by the way, are published, but I'm backing them up. So HP tends to remove machines or courses that have real names in them. So, anyway, here it is, Arcadia Bluffs Lidar, right? So let's edit that. And if all went well, then we should see the holes laid out. And there it is. All right. Now, if we use, I'm going to go to environment. I'm going to change the theme. I'm going to put Highlands, put the ocean in there. All right. Now, so just by changing the theme and going to lighting and changing this to like, oh, I don't know, 457. We go back. The lighting. Yeah, I mean, you can just see the layout. All right. How the lights, just by changing the sunrise or the angle that it's hitting, it just looks awesome. Okay. So here's the problem, though. You're going to find out that yes, you could publish a course just the way it is right now and say, have a good day. All right. But that you don't want a reputation of just being half assed and just publish it. All right. So if you look at Google Maps, ironically, um, Arcadia Bluff, and you'll look and look what they're doing on hole one here, ironically, right now when they did this screenshot. Hole one is where it's right there. And look what they're doing. They're building a new bunker. They're changing the bunker shape. All right. That's not good. So when I go in here and I go, okay, where's hole number one? Here it is. All right. And you can see right there what the splining did. All right. It looks like shit. You can't have it like that. All right. But you really can't go by just a couple bunkers. You have to go around and look at the rest of the course. All right. Now, if all of them are off, then we need to adjust the entire course. All right. Like this one almost looks like it's fitting in. It's just not, it's not splined up high enough here. All right. Which we can fix. All right. But as far as how the sand lays into the contouring is the question. So these are like, I don't know. And again, I didn't spline this, right? So what I've got to do, I've got to look at this. I've got to look at OpenStreet and see what this guy did. So in here, what hole are we looking at? We're looking at hole number 15. All right. And if I look at the contouring of the sand, it looks like it's pretty well centered. All right, which is good. All right. But it looks a little funky. So I'm looking at 15. So let's go over to 15 on here. Okay, here's 15. So, I mean, I look at the splining. Splining looks fine. Yeah, he's got the areas surrounded the way it should be. And then we have a pot bunker, and they're always a good indicator. So let's look at the pot bunker up here. All right, if you look at that pot bunker, it looks pretty damn centered in that crevice, right? That looks pretty damn good. So, looking over here on these other holes, could they be, could the sand be expanded? Yeah, we could do that. But the problem lies in like holes number 1 over here. So you look at 1, and you're like, well, that looks like shit. All right. And then if you go back here, whoops, not that far, you'll see these are all over the place. See where the crevice is here, and look where the bunker is. All right. So you can't really, bunkers are the most obvious screw ups. If your bunkers look like crap, the rest of the course is going to look like crap. Like that bunker is a joke. All right. The way it's sitting up on the hill there. So I'm looking at this going, what the hell am I going to do here? Because some of the holes, they look like they're lined up okay. Like there's a bunker there in the center of the fairway. And I guess it could be, it looks pretty decent. Same with that one. So it all becomes, what do you do? Do you, keep these as they are because most of the holes are lined up, right? Most of these holes look to be pretty decent. I would question that one, but not really, because if I look at the green's pretty tame here. It just drops off majorly if you overhit it, and it's going to roll down into those bunkers. So overall, looks to be pretty good. So that's the thing. And the other thing I look at is our greens. Are the greens just dropping off like off a side of, that just look like crap that a real green wouldn't do, right? So like hole number 1 there, that green looks okay. I don't see anything outrageous here except that pin placement, but that can be adjusted. I mean, there's no huge drop-offs. The bunker there actually looks pretty damn good, the contouring. So that looks good. Hole number 3. And another thing you look at is the tee boxes. If they're splined properly, they should be pretty damn flat. And that looks pretty good. All right. So tee boxes, bunkers, fairway's the fairway. There's not too much you can do with that. That bunker looks pretty good considering. That one looks pretty good. All right. Same with that one. Yeah, that's just the way it's designed. It's going to roll in, and it's got a top lip here to make it difficult to get out of there. Same with that bunker. That looks pretty damn good. Centered wise, left to right. Okay, if anything, I could move it to the left a little bit. And then I look at the green. Yeah, this green looks pretty good. A huge roll off here, but that's fine. All right. So overall, these holes look pretty damn good. They don't look too bad. I mean, really, they don't look bad at all. Because that's why you have to look around because, just because they moved this one, you know, it's, you have to just get rid of it. Um, so eventually I'm just going to have to, fill this in for these custom bunkers that they build in, you know. There's nothing really you can do about it. And but the other thing I want to show you is I'm going to undo that because I'm not saving this course anyway. What I do want to show you though is when you have something like this and you're going, all right, this needs to move because you can see it over here. It's sitting up top on here and it needs to go to your right. So what you can do is get your measuring tool out and get an idea of where you want it to be. So it's like 6 yards. All right. We need to move that 6 yards to the right to get it down into the bunkered area. And I'll show you what happens. So 6 yards, and of course, uh, being in the States, I don't know meters for squat. So 6 yards is 5.4 meters. Chad's tool uses meters. All right, so we're going to go back to Chad's tool. And what we're going to do is two things. And I forgot to show you this. So if you look at Google Maps or Blue Golf, I think I've got Blue Golf up here. Yeah. All right, here's the course. Here's here's the ocean. And you can see hole 12, 13 are over near the ocean, right? If you look at the golf club, hole 2 is over near the ocean. That's no good. So we need to spin this course 180 degrees so it lines up, right? So we're going to do both of those. So let's go back to Chad's tool. And we're going to go in here. And I forget how many meters was that? 5.4 meters. All right, so, and there's one important thing I forgot to say. So we got to go back in here and we've got to go edit. And of course, I now forgot what was that, hole 1? Yeah. So it was hole 1, this one. All right. So you need to go to edit, click in here, and you get your compass. This is going to tell you which way you need to move it. So I need to move this sucker south 6 yards to get it over here. And that's what we're going to do. All right. So south 6 yards. Just remember that. So we're going to go to Chad's tool. And here you can see in the import terrain and features, shift west, east, south, north. All right. We want to move south. All right. Anytime you move west or south, it needs to be a negative number. If it's positive, it's going to go north or east. So that's the only thing you have to remember. So it's negative 5.4 meters. Okay. And we're going to regenerate it. So we're going to hit this, select the folder. And sometimes you'll run this and you'll see it'll get stuck over on OpenStreet. In that case, just click the select and import height map again. All right. To get it to finish. Like it'll get stuck here. It'll stick on 36% or something like that. You just hit it again. But that was pretty quick. There's the preview. So we can go over here. Now this course is done. But before I do that, I want to rotate it 180 degrees. Whoops. All right, I'm going to rotate it. Now it just shifted the whole course 180 degrees. Now I'm ready to export it. And I'm going to put it in my courses. I'm going to overwrite my Arcadia Bluff. And get out of this one. Okay, it's still working. All right, it's done. Now, just because this shows up like this, that doesn't mean you can go right in here. All right, because watch what happens. I'll hit this. I'm going to get a network error. Maybe. No way. It's going to come in. Okay. Okay. So let's check hole number 1 and see what it did with that bunker. Look at that. See? So it's much better. Now, I went a little too far. So I can do one of two things. Again, edit, put the compass in here, and I could get, pickier and say, all right, so what am I going to do here? I could leave it as is and then just use the fuzzy brush and bring it down here and raise it up over here and add a little, whatever. But my goal, anytime I Lidar, I don't do any editing of bunkers. So I'll spend hours getting bunkers correct so I don't have to go back and spend hours cleaning these bunkers up. So as you can see, I lined up that one bunker, and this one looks better. All right. The problem is, I'm sure that if we look at the bunkers throughout the rest of the course, they all look like crap now. Yep. Okay. Look, because it shifts everything at 5.4 meters. All right. So that's a fail. And that's why you really need to go around and look at the course. If 15 of the 18 holes look good, all right. See how it all, look at it. It just looks terrible now. See? So you can't just go to one hole and say, okay, I got to get this lined up. It's way off. This one, good. It's good. The problem is the rest of the course looks like crap. So you can't do that type of thing. All right. So the way you get rid of that course file, other than obviously deleting it, we'll exit. We're not going to save it. And we can just go in here and we delete it. Confirm, goodbye, because that's junk. All right. So if we go back into Chad's tool, there's files here, okay, in your folder where all your stuff is here. What I normally do to start over, we already have the mask, that's fine, but we need to get rid of unpacked folder. That's pretty much it. All right, and let it regenerate the course. So we're going to say select the course. We're going to act like we're starting all over again. Tutorial, yep, select the folder. We're going to import a course, that template course. And again, if you don't know what the template course is, go watch the other tutorial. It shows you what it is, how you use it, and all that good stuff. All right, so I don't know what's in here. No. All right, so we'll just name this Arcadia Bluffs. All right. We don't need to do any LiDAR because we already did that. So now we just go here, 0.0, change that back. All right. And let's auto position and rotate. Yep. All right. So remove all to me. Yeah. All right. So this is good. What this will do is take away that really steep cliff that you saw throughout the course at the edges. So we're going to hit this. We're going to just hit the tutorial again and let's run it. This way you can start fresh. So that movement that we created that was bogus is now going to be back to normal. Because it looked like 15 of the 18 holes were pretty much lined up. The other ones, you can do one of two things. You can say, screw it, it's too much work, I'm not doing it. Or you can work on the bunkers that are missing, or that are incorrect and fix those. And I'll probably do that for this because it looks like a kick-ass course. I'd hate to see it go away. So it's ready, preview. All right. Now, we do know, or do we? Where's the water at? Well, let's find out. All right, so we're going to export the course. I'm going to put it in our course folder for TGC. I already deleted it. I'll save that. Okay, should be there. And we're going to go back. See if it shows up yet. And sometimes it's not instant. All right. You might look and it's not there yet. And no need to be alarmed. It just takes a while to come up, depending on the speed of your computer, your PS4, whatever you're doing. So here it is, Arcadia Bluff. Edit. Now, that bunker now should be back the way it was. All right. I mean, if you look at this course, it looks terrible with this theme and the lighting. It just looks like crap. All right. So just by changing the environment, the theme, Highlands, and then going back in here and changing the lighting to a later time in the afternoon. Look at that. It's huge. Okay. Now with Chad's tool, it automatically adjusts the sunlight to a specific inclination. Don't touch that. All right. Also, don't touch the orientation. The only thing you mess with is the time of the day because the sunlight is perfect for wherever that golf course is. Okay. So you can change it, but I advise you not to. All right. So now that same course just looks so much better with the sun hitting off the bumps and through the bunkers. I mean, look at that bunker. It's perfect. All right. So that's why you have to go and look at various holes. You can't go by, oh, all right, where's hole number one? You know, oh, this bunker's off, so I got to move it over. No, this bunker's a fail because, like we saw with Google Earth, they they were working on it in the image right here. All right, so we just have to we have to fix that bunker. All right, so that one's a fail, but most of the other bunkers look pretty damn good. All right, they could, and again, we're on hole number one, so we're like, all right, let's check around the other friggin' holes here. Let's see. Now, if you find a pattern, like that one looks pretty good. All right. I mean, the center of it's pretty flat right there, so it looks pretty good. So, looking at these bunkers, it's like, yeah, this is a deep bunker. Again, it's flat in the middle. All right. It looks good. All right. And what a lot of times you need to look at, like I said before, you need to look at tee boxes because that'll give you a good indication of how far you're off. And that's pretty flat. That looks damn good. All right. And you're always going to have some type of runoff around the edge depending on your splining, which is no big deal. So, and I'll just, bring it out a little bit. And just make sure tee boxes are level and that type of thing. All right. But the bunkers, I tend to spend a lot of time with bunkers. So, I might, let's see, page 4, this fuzzy brush. All right. And I don't know if you know this, but I think it's like 1 foot 8 inches will just flatten out the bunker in the center. You could see that, right? Barely touched it. And it's deceiving because you think, oh, you're raising it. No, you're not. That is the level of a bunker sunken down. All right. So that's how you can clean up these bunkers. You just go around. And as you can see, it just cleans it up. All right. Now, if you do want to make it deeper, you can do that. You just bring this down to, I don't know, 5 inches. Make this smaller because you don't want to really hit the edges. You want to keep the blue as much as you can. And you can see that is now a deeper bunker. And I tend to do that. I like deeper bunkers, all right? Because if they're not a hazard, why are they there in the first place? So, and you can see here by the area, it looks like you could extend the sand on this one. And you'd have to look at like Google Maps. What hole's this? This is hole number 7. So we can just look here. Well, no, we can't. Now get rid of that. Blue golf is the best bet. So we can look at blue golf. Here's hole number 7. Here's our bunkers. All right. I mean, I don't know. You could do whatever you want to do, really. You could move it. And if I start looking at holes and I notice that, and that's the thing with this, you never want to start editing a course if you know you're going to go back into OpenStreet. Because if you, and I am, right? This is just for tutorial purposes. I'm not going to save this. It's not going to be my good one. But if I start looking at bunkers and saying, and I see something happening with all of them, like could they go this way a little bit and do, and this way would be southeast, and I look at that one and say, okay, this one I could look at. That looks pretty damn lined up. So you could just add, to fit that area. You could just start. And it all depends on, how critical do you want to be? You know, do you want it perfect? Do you want it half-assed? It's up to you. I mean, you can pretty up the stuff. I mean, I could spend, 200 hours just going around cleaning up each bunker to make it look beautiful. I don't know how that just happened. Let's undo that. Because when you spline an OpenStreet, it tends to close off the bunkers. Okay. So that's it. I mean, it's the question of what do you want to do? Do you want to line it up so it's lined up in those areas? I mean, that's pretty damn good. And another thing that's pretty cool is if you just want to clean up the down here, you make the brush smaller and you just drag it along here. And it'll actually flatten it out a little bit. Okay. So you can just take the paintbrush without touching the edges. Just make sure it's small enough. And it'll clean up the bunkers nicely. So that's it. So, you know, the one thing you want to make sure of before you spline anything in OpenStreet is that you can actually import it, right? So my suggestion is always, and like I always do, um, I will go first of all to Blue Golf. Make sure the course is there. If it's not, that's never a good sign. All right. If it is there, okay, I continue on and I say, all right, let's see if OpenStreet has good imagery of it. So once you find the course, and I just went here and I went to Arcadia, Michigan, and did a quick search, go, and here's Arcadia. And I'm like, all right, well, the golf course has to be around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, right? And then I saw it. I'm like, whoa, that's splined. Because if it wasn't splined, you wouldn't see the course. All right. It would just be an empty spot. So that's why you have to go over to the layers. Whoops, not there. You have to go into edit and actually see where the course is. And now you can see the course. And if you hone in, Now you can see all the edits that have been made. All the bunkers are there, blah, 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 blah. All right. But this poor guy splined all this stuff out. Oh man, I can't wait to publish it. It's going to be awesome. I spent hours and hundreds of hours cleaning it up, and you know. And then he went into Chad's tool, and it failed, and he had no clue how to fix that. And that's all about that EPSG number. You need to go back to that website that I showed you, spatial reference, do a search for the state. It's only for US. Find it and just start putting these numbers into Chad's tool right here. Okay. And if you put a number in here, and this is very important, if you put that number in there, yeah, yep. What's up, Adam? Yeah, I went in there and somebody had said, "Hey, dude, and I looked it up in TGC, and nobody had it referenced. I went in here. Let me get out of here. Because the first thing I do is make sure that um, nobody has done the course. I don't want to steal something that's already been lidar'd. I could care less about fantasy courses with the same name. So, I think I looked at this one and went to local match, and then I went over change course, search. So here they are. Arcadia Bluff. Yeah, somebody did an RCR or whatever you want to call it there. But unless it's marked LiDAR, I don't classify it as LiDAR. So, yep, yeah, it was an EPSG, and I just happened to go back and found the correct one, and boom, it came in. So, but like I was saying earlier in this stream, that they made some major changes on the course. Ironically, I don't know if you saw that, but if you go into Google Earth Pro, and just, oh, come on. But I was showing earlier, that's not, uh, that's not the course. What the hell's the real name? They have, there we go. Yeah, but Adam, if you look here, look what they're doing. They're freaking tearing out resizing that bunker. And they must have done a lot of bunkering changes because all this stuff back here is screwed up. But most of them throughout the course are pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, I'm saying major changes. I'm not saying major changes. I mean, the they're moving bunkers, they're reshaping them, and the reason I say that is because if I go in to OpenStreet, all right, and look at hole number one, that bunker in question, if you change this, I'm still trying to figure out what he used to do the splining, or worse yet, what did he use? Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So if I were to if I was going to do this course, I'd have to do the whole thing pretty much over because I just wanted to see if I could get it in because it was requested in our forums to do this. That's how I ended up finding out about this. And I'm like, oh, somebody splined it. And then all of a sudden I went to run it and it failed and said, oh, yeah, it wouldn't do it. And then I found this code and voila, it worked. So, yeah, I mean, I always use Mapbox Satellite because Bing sucks. You can't see anything. You can't see the edges really of the fairway. But the problem is if you don't use Bing, then you're doing your rotations all the time. So, yeah, so at this point, you can see this. Yeah, it's totally different now. And this is 2015 LiDAR, so I don't quite understand. Yeah, so I'm going to go back here and go back to Mapbox. And just for the sake of lining it up, we would agree that that's lined up now, right? As lined up as it's going to be. That green's okay. And again, I don't know if he used different maps because some of the stuff, whoops, some of the stuff is on and then others are off. Oh, come on, bitch. And again, I haven't really looked at it, you know? It's like, why did he move some of them? Some of the stuff looks lined up with Mapbox, but this stuff does not. Like those look lined up. All right, so let's see if that looks any better. But look at this shit. Like this one. And this one. And that one. Yeah, I vowed I was done designing an HB Studios thing. 'Cause it's, friggin' waste of time anymore because you can't tell if anybody's playing your courses. And yes, you could say, oh, but I just love the design. Well, no, not me. If my courses aren't being played, I don't want to spend 100 hours working on it. Yeah. So I'm going to make these changes, regenerate the course, and let's see what we get. Maybe it's a little better. So I'm going to go in my course files, get rid of my unpacked. Goodbye. And get out of this. Go back to Chad. And let's import the terrain. That's fine. That's good. Yeah, I took today and Monday off. I needed a frickin' vacation. Not even a vacation, just not have to look at anything work related. What's that, Adam? You're saying, oh, the plays are a bonus. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's just that I just burnt myself out doing 18 of them. Yeah, I think it was a combination of both, Adam. I mean, I was fried, but my courses were updating. And then I still tried to do a course, and I just couldn't get myself motivated enough to actually play. I started splining. I'm like, now we're done. I think what happened was the course that I picked, I started having alignment issues, and that was it. I mean, I was like, all right, we're done. I can't take this anymore because I haven't done one in a couple of months now. Um, Course files, courses, Arcadia Bluff, overwrite that bad boy. Um, I don't know if it was Cedarbrook. It was Cedarbrook or Hallbrook, one of these two. Um, I think Cedarbrook, I started looking at last night. Hallbrook, I think, was the one that was requested, and it looked like an awesome course, but the Lidar data just, I was moving shit around trying to get it lined up, and I was like, I was done. I mean, I think that was when I said, I'm done. Unless I stick with courses that are in my area that I know my LiDAR data is accurate, it's just frustrating. Like this course, Arcadia Bluffs. I mean, I've never heard of it. I heard of it, but I didn't, I would have never found it. But somebody had posted it in the forums. Hey, Arcadia Bluff is an awesome, I'm like, oh, let me check it out. But, all right, so we're back to this crappy one. So lined up, it's still not lined up, you know. But if you look at the greens, yeah, somebody put it in our forums. The forums are not, they're there, but they're not there. They just have them hidden since, we're not going to do the regular show anymore. I told them to hide it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can't go by this one bunker, All I can do is fill this area in. and just delete this bunker completely and redo it. Because if I shift this over so it's good, it screws up the rest of the course. And the bunkers, I think, are pretty damn good here. Like that one's good. Those seem to be fitting in there just fine. So I'm not going to screw up 70, 80%. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to, because if you look at the bunkers throughout the course here, they may be a little off. But I mean, the contouring of these bunkers are pretty damn close. Yeah, there's nothing blatant about it. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The bunker is a problem child. It seems like just that one bunk. Well, I don't know if it's just that one bunker, but right. Yeah, and that's one of the first things I look at is the greens. There's no steep drop offs. Um, yeah, they look reasonable. But it's funny because I was showing these guys just by changing the theme. I'm gonna if I finish this one, which I probably will, I'll do the. Um, it's just like this. This course is a total opposite of what it needs to be. The water's down here, so I've got to get out of here. Exit, confirm. Go back into Chad's tool. And change that bad boy, rotate it 180 degrees. Then export it again. So now it's spun 180 degrees. I should be able to, hole number 12 should be lined up with the water now. Oh, it helps to change the theme again. Hmm. Uh, Unless it didn't save it. Yeah. I wonder why that did that. Yeah, I mean, I just did this though. I spun it 180 the last time and it worked. That's correct. So unless I need to regenerate it, I don't want to auto position and rotate. Let me regenerate this bad boy. Man, I'll tell you, after taking off 2 months, took me a while to figure. What am I doing again? Oh yeah, I'm going in the designer. How do I do this? That and the other thing. Use it or lose it. Yeah, I mean, well, obviously they didn't do it because they would have at least published something, right? Or did they just flat give up? I rotated 180 degrees. We agree I just rotated it, right? Yeah. All right, let's export the course. Now I'm not getting any errors in here, right? Oh yeah, I am. There we go. Okay. That's why it's not saving. I don't know why his tool crashes every once in a while. I gotta just go back in. All right, I'm gonna have to get out of the golf club so I can get to my freaking icon. Let's see. Yeah, Chad's tool just crashes every once in a while. Yeah, you were telling me about that guy. Who the hell is he? Sounds like a dickhead. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm just regenerating it, spinning it, and I'm not saying it crashed. Um, I'm just saying that, and it happened this morning too. When you go back and you just keep selecting an import, select an import, and then go over there and spin it around and select an import, it's like whoa, whoa, whoa. So it was only recently that this would start erroring. As I noticed that, I would make a change and I'd be like, what the hell's going on with this? Why isn't it spinning? And then all of a sudden I went back to the console and there were a ton of Python errors. I exited out, went back in, it worked perfectly. So, like this one, I'm going to do an auto shift, rotate 180, 180 degrees, rotate it. We're good. We're going to export. Yeah, I don't know if you've messed with these things. I've tried them. Like I have no clue. Auto shift elevations. I mean, these are all things I'm going to have to play around with because I make the changes here. If I'm doing west to east, south to north, making changes to the course, I make them there. I don't know what the hell the difference is between this and going in here, shift and north, you know. Yes, and I normally move the features. He recommended moving the course, but then I got to think everything the opposite of what TGC 2019 does. Yeah, I think they do the same thing, except you can. I don't know what the hell shift terrain would be. And again, these might be. I've done shift features, where I want to move the bunker 6 meters or something to line it up. So, well, yeah, I think I tried move course, Adam, and it moved it the opposite direction of what I wanted it to move. Because you got to think, all right, if I'm leaving the features there, I need to move the course the opposite direction. It's strange. So I always just use shift features. All right. Did I actually save this? I did, right? So now it should be in the golf club. Right. I used the features. Okay, let's see what we get this time. Because I'm too lazy. I want the water to be created for me. There we go. So there we're perfect. So there's hole 12. And I'll still have to clean all that crap up. But so out of the box, and I can't. I mean, it's just amazing that just changing the lighting on here, how much it makes a difference. Look at that. It is a pretty cool looking course. So if I look at these greens, these look pretty decent. They are really undulated. So I look at that tee box. Yeah, did he just spline it in correctly, or is the course off that much? Because if you look at this green, that is really dropping off there like that. But the question is it like that? If you hit that side, it's just going to roll down, right? Yeah, see what I mean? So if I do this, edit, give me my compass, and I move this back, what, west? Yeah, I'll move that west and measure 3 yard, 2.4 yards. It's pretty pathetic. I got to do this, but it's 3 meters. So, and I'm moving it which way? West. West, 2 meters. So I normally go in here, and I'm going west, so it needs to be a -2. And select. Get out of here. What hole was this? 17. All right, let's see if that makes any difference on that. All right, see what it does here. Rotate that 180 degrees. And let's export. No, I think that, yeah, that was hole number 17. That one I just adjusted. That was 17, right? I moved it the wrong way. Oh, shit. I know why. Because then I rotated it. Damn it. Uh, no, I didn't shift terrain. I shift features. See, it moved it the opposite. I did the rotate to get the water lined up with 12. And when I rotated it, how the hell's that going to work? No, I don't think. And we can look. -2. So now I got to go back here and say, all right, I wonder if that rotating screwed it up. Because it did just the opposite. So now I got to move it. Damn it. All right. Well, let's get rid of this shit. All right. I want -2. I'm not going to rotate it this time. I want to see if it works. Unless I have to rotate it first. I wonder if that. I see. I don't understand. Because the rotating is done at the end, right? All right, man. Holbrook. Is that the one I was working on? I don't even remember. All right, I'm just going to export this. I'm not going to shift it. I see errors. Son of a bitch. No such file or directory. Oh, yeah, yeah, that helps, Ken. That helps. Yeah. All right, I've got to put that shortcut. Where the hell is it? Yeah, duly noted here. The reason I was getting an error is because the Stonehead, meaning me, deleted the folder import course, and I did this, and then and deleted the extracted folder. That's why I couldn't create the freaking course. Okay, um, so we want -2. Hmm, running Y in Oregon. Yeah, I mean when you head out west, like Arizona, New Mexico, there's some nice courses out there, but there's no freaking lidar data out in the mountainous areas. Like Colorado, forget it. Even though there's beautiful courses there, you can't get any lidar data. All right. Before I spin it, I just want to export this. Okay, now hole number 17 should look better now. It does. The green's not falling off. It's still looking pretty bad. All right, so oh, you know what? That's a good question. I had it rotated before. This time it's not rotated. Right, so it's total opposite now. Sweet. I don't see a flat spot for that tee box. So I'm going to go by the green, and that green is way off. It is, yeah. So it's like 4.5 meters, and I need to go what direction? I need to go west. So it's a total opposite. No, that's right. -4. Did you check it out on OpenStreet? Yeah, I mean, this is the most frustrating part of the Lidar is just getting this shit lined up, you know? But once it's lined up, then it's a piece of cake. But I spend more time getting shit lined up than I do actually designing the course. No, it's way the hell off. No errors. So I don't know what I'm smoking. Oh, did I? And here's a question for you, Adam. The when you do this, and say it was -2 the last time you generated the course, does it? So if it was minus +2 here and you generated it, and then you go immediately back in here and change it to +5, does it move it another 5 meters? Or does it add it only 1 meter additional? You know what I mean? I'm going to say that it starts fresh, and moves it again from the base. But I don't know. I don't know if that does that. That looks better, right? All right. Well, I'm going to take a break, guys. Thanks for watching. And like I said, if you don't know about the LiDAR data, go onto the YouTube channel and check the original LiDAR one I did, and it'll show you all the ins and outs of creating it. All right. Until then, have a good one.